Good afternoon and welcome back. I hope you all had a good taste of New York at your lunch break and had some good spirited conversation. So no pun intended there for my spirits crowd. Spirited conversation during some of the breakout sessions. So happy to be back here. And we also have some announcements. So those of you who are regulars are accustomed to this part of the session when we have some opportunities and some new initiatives put on by our state government under the leadership of Governor Cuomo. So with that, I will let Howard Zemsky make the very first announcement for the afternoon session.
Great. Thank you very much. First of all, let me just thank everyone for their inspired participation. I've always talk about economic development as a team sport, and in tourism, certainly that's true. And you're all great members of the team and important members of the tourism development team. So thank you for being here. Thank you for all your insights, and we look forward to working with everyone going forward. Several important initiatives and announcements I have the honor to make. The state is committing $55 million to be allocated for tourism in 2017-18. Obviously very representative of the governor's extraordinary commitment and the lieutenant governor's extraordinary commitment, as you've all pointed out. This is a 10% increase from last year and a historically high level of tourism funding for the state. So we're very excited about that. We're establishing a regional welcome center for each region of the state, with the first center opening this year on Long Island. These centers will feature a full array of attractions and experiences, including Taste New York, Path Through History, I Love New York, and state parks. So I think you'll all benefit, all the regions will benefit from that. Expansion of the award-winning I Love New York mobile app with a new audio tour feature where users will be able to download narrated walking and driving tours featuring top New York State attractions. The tours will feature a live map, walking, driving directions, and immersive multimedia content. You can clap for that. That's good, too.
I'll narrate it.
Launch of an accessible tourism initiative to create awareness of tourism destinations, products, and services that are accessible to all people, regardless of their physical limitations, disabilities, or age, and reach out to this $17.3 billion market. And creation of the I Love New York at Tribeca short film competition, where film students across the state will be invited to submit ideas for a tourism-based video themed around the state's vacation regions. One idea for each of the 11 regions will be chosen to be produced, and a panel of celebrity judges will award the best of the final videos $350,000.
Thank you, Howard. That's very exciting. And you know, I did hear some applause for the $55 million, but at a time when other states are cutting back their tourism dollars, us going up another $5 million, I think deserves another round of applause. Yeah. I, at this time, get to talk about the Women's Suffrage Commission, as we kind of teased up earlier today with Deborah and others, that we are approaching a really once-in-a-lifetime, especially my lifetime, opportunity to draw tourists to our state for a unique reason, and that is the commemoration of the 100th anniversary of women's right to vote. And I think in light of what's going on nationally, it's a very exciting time to be talking about how far women have come. And so we are very proud of that in New York State as New Yorkers, but we want to showcase that story to the rest of the world. And so we are going to turn this interest into more tourism opportunities. So I'm announcing today a Path Through History campaign to celebrate and capitalize on the 100th anniversary of women's right to vote, and we'll be highlighting various attractions and events. We'll be doing this through strategic paid advertising, themed trips for travel journalists, a targeted social media campaign, and much, much more. So look forward to a lot of exciting developments as we approach the 100th anniversary of women's right to vote here in the state of New York. Jim. I will also piggyback on something that was spoken about a little bit earlier, but we are just announcing we have the numbers on how far the farm cideries have come since 2014, a short time ago. We have tripled the number of farm cideries, tripled just since 2014, from 8 to 24 today. That is incredible, and we are excited about that. We're also sponsoring our Cider Week celebrations. You heard some of that discussion earlier today. And as you know, the governor did a tremendous amount to cut the red tape and create these opportunities. But that shows in a 2-year time frame how we can take an industry from its infancy to setting it on a trajectory of no limits in store. So we're excited about that as well, which ties into announcements from, I think, Stratton. I'm sorry, that's not a good segue then. That goes over to Brian Stratton. You're next on deck, and I'll look forward to getting involved in your Votilla next year as well.
We are pleased today to announce a promotion of New York State's rich heritage tourism opportunities for next year through a special celebration of a landmark 2017 anniversary. This promotion will be built around the 200th anniversary of the Erie Canal. The Erie Canal Bicentennial Celebration will be highlighted with integrated path through history promotions around related attractions and events that will include strategic paid advertising, theme familiarization trips for travel journalists, activations at special events, and a targeted social media campaign. Governor, we are pleased that these special promotions next year for the Erie Canal Bicentennial will not only build upon New York's nationally transformative heritage and its history, but reinforce the economically vital connection that canal-based tourism has among the more than 240 canal communities across upstate New York, many of whom are here today.
From Commissioner Ball.
Thank you so much, Governor. It's a fun day, and this is the fun part of the day, although there's more fun yet to come. But Howard, I just have to say, mention team. It takes a team effort, and this is very representative of that. But, to be a part of the governor's team and advance these issues is really very fun for me. He clearly is a governor that believes in investing in his state, and I think we greatly benefit from that. And I've got a couple of more things here that are pretty exciting. And one is the allocation of $2 million for a new round of tourism grants through Market New York. We heard a little bit about Market New York's successes, bringing the total allocation to $15 million. And that focuses on agritourism by promoting destinations, attractions, and special events explicitly related to the craft beverage and agritourism industry. This new round will include grants for the purchase of media advertising, production costs of print collateral and audio-visual, industry-related press tours, marketing materials, and website design development and updates. So another round for Market. And also something we talked about a little bit in our session downstairs, our breakout session, an expansion of the successful efforts like the Taste New York presence at the 2013 PGA Championship just at Oak Hill Country Club, which resulted in increased visits at farm-based beverage operations by allocating an additional $250,000 to $500,000 for special events agritourism marketing initiative, where Taste New York activates at key events like food and beverage festivals and high-end sporting tournaments like the U.S. Open and the PGA, where there's audiences receptive to visited wineries, craft beverages, and other agritourism destinations across the state. So more good news. Thank you.
Excellent. Before we wrap up, there's a few more individuals that I wanted to ask for some input and some of their thoughts from. And you can't think about New York City without thinking about the Javits Center, and not just their past, but the incredible, exciting developments that are going on there. As I toured down there just recently. Alan Steele, I know you're the heart and soul of this, so tell us what's going on in New York City.
Thank you, Lieutenant Governor, and thank you for the invitation to this summit. I attended my first one of these, I think, 4 years ago, and it was from that summit that some of the programs that we now have at Javits were developed, including the Taste New York store, and also the fact that we promote New York State through Gavin's efforts with a lot of promotional videos that we run on all of our TVs throughout the center. So the value of an event like this for me was not only the opportunity to meet people, but actually to develop programs alongside our own events that would benefit the rest of the state. So thank you for that. Javits Center produces about 200 events a year. We are the busiest convention center in the country. We also have the second largest green roof in the country, which I just like to tell people about. But we already do a lot in the tourism industry. Many of you are familiar with the New York Times travel show. I know Senator Little was at the last one. That's a great opportunity to promote what the state has to offer. But there are also specialized events, the boat show, for instance, where we were able to, I think, see some advantages for the canal industry from their participation. And then, of course, the fancy food show, which has a tremendous participation from Ags and Markets. So there's a lot of opportunity at the Javits Center now for companies in New York State to promote their interests and their products. But what's going to be happening in the next several years is going to make us even more dynamic. Thanks to the governor's support, we announced in January that we will be expanding the building. We're expanding the building from to 3.3 million square feet, which is a 50% increase in our space. But importantly, it's not just about size, it's about smart investment infrastructure. And that's one of the things I think the governor's to be most complimented on. New York City is a different environment. We don't sit in a field, we sit in the middle of, particularly with Hudson Yards development, what is one of the largest programs for development in the country. So the infrastructure development that we're doing will actually allow us not only to continue, but to be a better servant to the industry in the environment that's created by our urban density. What we will be doing there, we'll be adding about 158,000 square feet of meeting rooms, which is something that we need to attract the kind of high-end tourist traffic to New York City, business tourist traffic in particular. We'll be creating about 4,000 full-time jobs, 2,000 part-time jobs, and 3,000 construction jobs. So it's not just about what we do in the events business, it's about the knock-on effect of all of that investment, and I look forward to welcoming everyone to the building in 2020. The governor has us starting work this year, and he has said he wants it finished by 2020, so I can pretty much guarantee you it will be finished by 2020.
Thank you, Alan. Appreciate that very much. Now we'll also hear from Michael Printup, the president of Watkins Glen International, and I didn't think I could top last year's experience driving around the track at about 120 in a NASCAR pace car until I went back this year and was asked to be in a Indy Series car, which is the open-wheeled. I impressed my brothers. They were very impressed, and I understand that video is still circulating around today. So it was exciting, most exciting 3 minutes of my life. Once in a lifetime, meaning I'm not doing it again, but I truly had a strong appreciation for the endurance of the individuals who participate in that exciting sport, and that really just puts the Southern Tier on the map nationally and internationally the way no one else can think about. So the governor's investments in the track and elsewhere have really paid dividends for the Southern Tier. So Michael, take it away.
Well, thank you. And I will tell you, I know she wants to ride in a balloon, but she was doing about 160, 170 in an Indy car in a two-passenger car. So
Yeah,
I've never
rough.
done that before, but she did it. She got out with a smile. I don't know how long the smile lasted, but it was short.
About 30 seconds.
But last year, the lieutenant governor and I raced around the track, and she almost took me out in turn 3 at over 120 miles an hour. So it was kind of fun. So she's competitive, and I was warned. I was warned. But again, I can only emphasize or re-emphasize what Richard and Howard had said. just thanking everybody and the governor's staff and Gavin and yourself, Howard, just everybody in the team helping in the investment of New York. The stories this morning were fantastic, and everybody is saying that, so I won't get in a lot of details since everybody covered it, and my two neighbors did very well. Not that everybody didn't, but very well done. I'm lucky working as the president of Watkins Glen International. I'm a native New Yorker. Matter of fact, the lieutenant governor and I are from the same hometown, Hamburg, New York. And it's great to see all this momentum as we move forward. But I'm lucky working at Watkins Glen because we have racing. We have the largest sport in New York State one time a year with just under 100,000 people just on Sunday. For the NASCAR race. We have about 172,000 there for the weekend. So we create a small little town real quickly for a lot of people. And, there's 110 jets, private jets that land in Elmira. There's another 20, 30 that land in Penn Yan, and another 30, 40 that land in Ithaca. And these are CEOs and presidents from all over the Fortune 500 companies that come into New York one time a year to visit all the Budweisers and the Home Depot and the Lowe's, so on, to visit the sport. So we're lucky to be able to keep that advertisement. We've been involved, and that's why I love New York's been involved and done such a fantastic job at Watkins Glen. And we have all the numbers and the advertising numbers, but I think what really matters is what Richard said and Howard said about being on that team. Everybody here is on the team. So I thank you for coming. I'm lucky enough to be invited to sit up here, so I appreciate that. I mentioned the wine festival. We have the beer and distillery festival this weekend. We only allow New York wines. We have wineries from all over the Eastern Board that want to come into this wine festival because we do about 110,000 people over a weekend for just the wine festival. It's a huge, huge thing, and it's not about racing. It's all about the wine festival, arts and crafts, and a lot of things. We just completed our 20th year last year, so we're really proud of that. But we were also voted, and that was voted number one, as I said earlier, by USA Today. Last year, we were voted number one NASCAR facility in the country. Again, only out of 23 in the whole country. We were voted number one in the country. And this year, we also got voted, not we, but the community, the Harbor Hotel was voted number one waterfront hotel in the country, which beat out hotels from Napa Valley to Laguna. And again, I'm emphasizing the community because that's the community I work in, not just the racetrack, but also the state park, Watkins Glen State Park. I know Fred Bond is here from New York State Department of Parks, and number 3 as well. So as the Lieutenant Governor said earlier, so we're pumping a lot of people through that little town of 1,800 people, but we're getting there. It's getting bigger and better all the time. So I just wanted to say thank you again to all the electeds. Senator Little, I know I spoke earlier, such an advocate for tourism. It just helps. I know it helps all of us. You may not see it every day. I spend a lot of time up here in Albany and keep my ear pretty close to the ground. So thank you for everybody that supports tourism and for everybody that came today. I think that's awesome, the support that we show in the team effort. Thank you.
Thank you, Michael, for your commitment, your passion, and tell me what we're going to do for an encore next summer. All right. At this point, I want to turn it over to Sonia Del Prel, the manager of Ninepin Ciderworks. I had a chance to meet you and your team, your son. How impressed I was to see a mom who truly believed in her son just out of college, who majored, I think, in chemistry, was it, I recall? Biology, okay. And what you've done to really give a real shot in the arm to my adopted community of Albany, and it was great to tour the facility right here, and just an inspiration for the other young entrepreneurs who are thinking, can I do it? And what you and your family have done is just incredible. So why don't you tell us a little bit of the story?
Well, thank you, Lieutenant Governor, for inviting me and also for highlighting our little story. We can't really talk about billions or even millions, but what we have done is, by the skin of our teeth, been able to ride the efforts of New York State in promoting the craft beverage industry and the farm cidery industry in particular. When we started planning this business about 3.5 years ago, we had hope for a farm cidery type of license, but one did not exist here. So we started with our cider producer license, and immediately when the law changed, applied for that farm cidery license and got the very first one, which helped us get on the map. We got some press attention. That was all wonderful. But all that we had to scramble because we didn't really have a tasting room. One of the great benefits of the farm cidery license, that we quickly threw together a little tiny tasting room. And within a year or two, it became very evident that that was not going to be enough, because we were bringing the orchard to the city. people were coming, they loved our product, and so then we were able to, with the help of ESD and a grant, expand our operation and expand that tasting room. And we just were able to open it about a month ago, right at the same time that the governor signed the new farm cidery law, which enables us not only to sell our own cider by the glass at the cidery, but also to cross-promote our fellow craft beverage makers, the farm beer, the farm distillery, and farm winery products. So we're just at the very beginning of that, and we're thrilled about the continued emphasis that you're putting on our industry, and thank you very much.
Thank you. I'll have to stop by and try out the new tasting room after hours. Thank you. I get a little nervous. Sometimes I look at my schedule and my staff has me going to breweries, wineries, distilleries, all in one afternoon. I said, come on, guys, got to spread this out. People think I've got an issue or something. I hope that you've enjoyed this summit as much as I have. And I will tell you one thing. Do not take for granted what it means to have a governor of a state who is so personally vested in tourism and your craft brewery industries, but also vested financially and putting state resources behind these ideas. So it's not just talk. It is actually execution. It is changing laws that have become barriers, wiping them out. It is putting money there to support what you do. So it's exciting for us to look into the faces of people whose lives have been changed, whose industries are doing better. And I think, Mike, you mentioned the word momentum. We have tremendous momentum. So I'm going to invite all of you to bring that momentum over to the governor's mansion, have a few drinks with us, some wonderful New York State food. But before you leave here, let us all think about how we're going to go forth and tell the world why we love New York. Thank you very much.